Okay, Minuet number 1, song number 3 in cello, book 2. Minuet number 1 has a shift in it. In fact, it has 3 shifts in it, but they're all the same shift. Okay, when we put our hand so our first finger is on our first tape, we call that first position. When we put our hand so that our first finger is on our second tape, we call that second position, and that's where we're shifting in this piece. The reason we shift here is so we can reach higher notes. Sometimes we shift to second position to avoid string crossings or to make things easier to play as well, okay? There are very few slurs in here. There are push, push. I think at this point, between the last 2 pieces and Minuet and C in the last book, you should be able to do those push pushes, but if the bowings confuse you, you can leave them out. Okay, I want to start where the shift is first, and then I'll back it up and play at the beginning. So if you find the second line, or measure number 5, you'll notice that you still have no sharps in the key signature, so you're going to use second fingers. And you're coming down the scale, so you might play like this. 4 fingers on the D string, 2, 1, 0, and 4. Now the only problem is when you really play it and look at it, it's 4, 2, 1, 0, and the next note is a 2. It looks like it should be a 4, but it's a 2. What they would like you to do is take your first finger and slide it to where your third finger normally goes, or the second tape. Then you can add the rest of your fingers. This note will play the same note as your third finger. So this is a B, this is a C, and if I slide up like this is still a B, this is still a C. Okay, so I'm going to try it again this time with the shift. I'm going to start with 4 fingers on the D string, 2 fingers, 1, 0, and instead of playing 4 fingers, I'm going to slide up and put 2 fingers where 4 normally was. The next note says stay in second position and use 4 fingers to play the note A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross over to the D string and add 4 fingers. And then I'm going to shift back to normal and continue. So on the second line, you have 1 shift. You're putting your first finger where your second finger tape is. Well, your second tape. Your third finger really goes there. Okay? And you are playing 2 notes in that position. So you're going to play 2 fingers on the G string and 4 fingers on the D string, and then you come back to normal. I'm going to play 2 lines for you. Here comes your shift. Shift your hand, cross over 4, shift back. Okay, now I said we have 3 shifts in this piece. If you look on the very last line of the piece, there is the same exact shift and the same exact notes. So the last line and the second line of the piece they're copies. They're exactly the same. I won't say it's a sandwich song because the first line and the second to last line are not exactly the same, but it's similar to that. Okay, let's find the third shift and then we'll go through the whole thing. If you can find measure 13, you're going to see that you are coming down a scale, just like what you were doing before, but you're starting this time on the A string. Okay, so you play 4, 2, 1, 0, and you want to play 4 on the D string, but it's marked 2, so we're going to shift up. 2 there, crossing over to the A string with 4, sliding back down. So really when you look at it, it is exactly the same fingering and exactly the same shift as what you did in measure 5 and 6, but it's 1 string higher. So in measure 5 and 6, you're playing on the D string, you go down to the G string, come back up to the D string. If you're looking at measure 13 and 14, you're playing on the A string, you go down to the D string, shift, come back up to the A string, shift back down. All right, I'm going to play through the whole thing. Minuet number 1 by Mr. Bach. Okay? Push, push. Push, push. Here comes your shift. 2, 1. Shift here. Cross over, shift back. No repeat. Let's circle our bow and go on at 9. Third finger marked in, F sharp. 4. Shift to second on the D string. Cross over, shift back. Ready, 17. Two fingers, wait. Measure 21, last line. Ready for your shift. Cross over, shift down. Nice. Good job.